Good morning. Hey, did you sleep well? Yeah. You have a good night. Let's go. Yeah, yeah.
Let's get some treats. 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 Treats.
Good morning and welcome back to a new vlog. We finally arrived in the US, and when I say finally, I totally mean it. Instead of 24 hours, it took us 40 hours to get here. This trip was insane, and I would say that was the worst trip I've ever had. Every single flight, there was something going on. And when I talked to my mom, it took me 20 minutes to explain what all happened, so I try to keep that as short as possible. So the first flight we almost missed it because the pass control was so long. The second flight was delayed first for like 4 hours, I think, and when we finally sat in the airplane, we sat in the airplane for another 4 hours because there was something wrong with the machine. Then the pilot worked too long, then the cabin crew worked too long, and then the food was expired. Waiting for the food would have taken another 3 hours, I think. So they were like, okay, you know what, we're just gonna fly because we're already 10 hours late and we just cannot serve you food. So you have to think about it. We sat in this airplane without flying for 4 to 5 hours, and then we had to fly for another 7 hours to JFK. So we were sitting for a long time without food. And when we finally arrived in JFK, we obviously missed our connecting flight to Indiana, so the airline gave us an apartment for over the night. So we stayed in New York City for one night for free, so it was kind of nice. And the next morning we had to go to another airport in New York to go to Indiana. I'm so glad that we are finally here. It took forever, and the last flight was full of turbulences. There was a storm going on, and I'm gonna be honest, I cried the whole last flight because I was so exhausted. I was so tired and scared for the turbulences because honestly the plane the whole time goes like, and I'm like, I just want to arrive. I can't do that anymore. So yeah, we're finally here and I'm so glad we made it. That's actually the first trip where I was like, okay, I don't know if we will ever arrive. And I'm not exaggerating here. I was super scared. I was actually thinking of like filming a slow weekend here in Indiana, like recharging after traveling. I show you what I usually do when I get home, just the usual little stuff when you get home again. But honestly, yesterday I didn't feel like filming at all. I was just so tired, exhausted. I also got my period. Like, I just didn't feel it. I kind of wanted to force myself, but then I was like, okay, you try to film a mindful diary. You want to convince people to listen to their body, and then you don't do it yourself. So I forced myself not to do it, to listen to my body, to do what I feel like doing. So I didn't film. And I think that was the right decision to film today with new energy. I actually feel like filming today. I want to film today, and I think the outcome will be so much better then. The plan for today is we go to Barnes & Noble, and I'm so excited. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do when I'm in the US. If you're not from the US, it's like a big bookstore, like one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. They have everything. There's even a coffee shop where you can sit with your book and just sip on your Starbucks drink. And yeah, I'm so excited to go there now. So let's get ready and look at some books.
Like, she's one of the writers. It's like a little bit like thriller.
Did you hear about that one?
I've seen the cover, like the Blue Sisters, but I haven't heard anything about this one.
I know you read it. You want to read that one as well?
Antarctica's pretty good. I like the cover.
Oh, you read it already?
I read Antarctica.
Oh my god, this one of my favorite books. This is so cute.
You told me about this.
Like Out of the Woods, I think, just came out from her too. So her books are always like when somebody's in a relationship already and then they have to figure something out. I like that kind of vibe, not like this. They just like in the end they get together. It's always like that. It sounds a little bit different. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just found that out. Like when you see a book that you would like to put on your Goodreads list, you can scan it.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Like you scan it, and then it's
Oh my
there.
gosh.
I got the Frappuccino, see that cafe vanilla with oat milk.
Oh, where it stopped.
There's a lot of it. Like my envisioning, if you wanted to restart now that you have like the movie in context, was to just like
I mean, reading in English also takes me longer in general, obviously. Yeah, than the classic one.
yeah.
We just came out of Barnes & Noble. It was so good to be there. I didn't buy anything, but what I always do is I just take a bunch of pictures of the books or just scan them on Goodreads, and then I just put them on my want to read list, and then I download them on my Kindle. That's what usually happens. But I think whenever I settle, my dream is to have like a huge library, not huge, but just a room with a bookshelf, and then I will just buy books that have a nice cover or where I actually want to make notes in it. So whenever we settle, I really want to do that, that's for sure. One thing that happened and I really want to mention in that video, because that's something that's so normal in America, but that would never ever happen in Germany. So I was at this one book stand and I was just talking about Frida McFadden's book, which one I read so far, which ones I like. And then this one girl comes up and she goes like, oh yeah, so which one's your favorite? And so I told her again, like, yeah, this one is actually pretty good. They're all pretty good. And then I told her it's my favorite one. She was like, oh yeah, what's happening in there? And I told her a little bit and she was like, okay, cool, yeah, I take it. And then she just took it. So I basically just sold her a book. And I was like, okay. And then I never seen her again, and I guess she bought The Housemaid, which is good. I mean, it's a very good book. It's just so funny that you interact with people here so normal and so easy, and they're all so open. That made me really happy, actually. That was cool. Oh my god, this is a girl. It's so funny. It's just sitting on the bench there. Can you see it over there? Keeping eye contact. Anyways, afterwards we went to the coffee shop in Barnes & Noble because we are doing a buddy read right now, so we just read together and just talked about the book. It's actually the first time I'm reading a classic by myself. I mean, I read a bunch of classics during school because you have to, but it's the first time I'm actually picking up a classic because I want to. I'm reading Pride and Prejudice right now, as you saw. It's a really good book so far. I also movie, so I kind of get the hang of it, because I have to say it's very hard for me to understand it. English books are always a little bit harder to understand for me, obviously, and then the classic, it's kind of hard because this is like, what, 200 years ago? So they talk totally different. And yeah, so I watched the movie like 2 days ago. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend watching that movie. It's so cute. I thought I get the hang of the book a little bit easier. I am still having a hard time. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read another book while reading that one. So it's not the only book I'm reading right now and I'm having a hard time because it's fun, but it's very hard. So it's nothing I want to do to fall asleep to.